is right here in front of me, and it's underlined Thomas. So, and I still messed that up, so I apologize, Thomas.
10 cents.
All is fair in love. Really? Seriously? Are you kidding me? This morning, Thomas, with great vocal variety, will examine and opine on the issue of fairness for our cozy little group. Welcome, Thomas Blake.
Daddy, it's just not fair. It's not fair. Jonathan, your favorite, gets to do whatever he wants. I can't do anything. And you know what, Daddy? It's not fair. That was my daughter Emily speaking many, many years ago. If you're a parent, you can probably relate to that kind of discussion. So I told her in my most fatherly voice, almost as though Jehovah were speaking to her. My dear little pumpkin Emily, you're right. It's not fair. And you know what else? Life is not fair. And the sooner that you learn that little lesson, the better off you will be, and the better off our entire family will be. Life is not fair. Emily is now 22 years old. Shalom. 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 The reason for that was she lives in Brooklyn. She lives in Brooklyn, New York. She's surrounded by a lot of Jews. Do you know where Seder? Or Passover. She works in Times Square. I think she's learning up there. Life is not fair. You know what I mean? Yeah. She has learned the lesson that life is not fair. And we're all better off now that she's learned that lesson. So that's my dear little daughter, Emily. Was she really saying it's not fair? She was really saying, I'm not getting my way, Daddy, and I want you to change it so I can have my way.
Yeah.
But what sounds better? It's not fair. Have you noticed there's an election going on? Let me be clear. It's not fair that I would pay less in taxes than my secretary. It's not fair. Now, I'm pretty libertarian. I don't agree with much that our president says, but you know what? I agree with him on this point. And tax is my bailiwick. But I agree totally with our president. It is not fair. I further can opine a bit more. It has never been fair. It is not fair, and it never will be fair. Tax laws were not established for fairness. It's a fairly new concept that taxes should be fair. What are taxes supposed to do? Number one, raise revenue for the government. What's fair about that? Nothing. Number two, what are taxes supposed to do? Well, in our system, they're supposed to, or they're used to rather, not that they're supposed to, but they're used to manipulate the behavior of individuals and companies to achieve economic and social goals. So, if you want to deal with global warming, we're going to give you a $10,000 credit to buy a solar vehicle. Now, is that fair? I don't know. It's all what your opinion is. Fairness is a very, very subjective word. So when our president says, it's not fair, what does he really mean? What he really means is, in my humble opinion, I want your vote. I care about you, the little guy, and the other guys don't care about you. But if you were to actually say that, it wouldn't sound nearly as pleasing as saying, it's not fair. You get my drift? Okay. So fairness is a very subjective word when it's used nowadays. As a matter of fact, when I hear anybody say fairness, whether it's my sweet little pumpkin Emily, who's now a string bean, not a pumpkin anymore, she's very skinny. But when I hear fairness by my daughter, my son, or a politician, it goes in one ear, through the empty space, and out the other ear, and it means absolutely nothing to me. Because it is so subjective. So I was so impressed with Bonnie's big dictionary last week that I decided to look in my dictionary for a definition of what is fair. And I discovered I don't have a dictionary. So I decided to look online. Now, as an adjective, fair means in accordance with the standards or rules, or being legitimate. As an adverb, it means without cheating or trying to achieve unjust advantage. For example, he played fair, which I think is how Emily and the president really use it to make it look like it's not fair. However, a wise man once said, fairness is in the eyes of the beholder. So I thought I was being very fair to Emily. And I would think a fair tax system would be where everybody pays a flat 10%. That sounds very fair to me, but obviously it doesn't sound fair to everyone. However, it's a subjective standard. Fairness is in the eyes of the beholder. I also found another use of the word fair as a noun. You ready? I love this. This one I like. A gathering of stalls and amusements for public entertainment. Now, I think we can all agree with that, right? Can you give me an amen on that one? Amen. A fair is a fair. Now, I've never been to the Central Florida Fair. Okay? Do you ever hear people say, I'm going to the fair? No, they say, I'm going to Disney World. Why would you go to the fair if you can go to Disney World in Central Florida? I don't quite get it. So I did look it up, and much to my dismay, I have to wait 308 days to go to the Central Florida Fair. But I like the word, so I might just go. Thank you very much.